Right. Okay. That's fine.
It says we're live, Richard.
Yep. Okay. Hang on. Just give it a
um,
couple minutes.
well, I wanted to do a, I wanted to kind of do an impromptu tribute to James. It's kind of funny. I met him back in 2013, maybe earlier. It had to be earlier because I had arranged to kind of meet him at this gun rally in 2013 in Middle Tennessee. So I guess it's been a while, but um, I I don't know. There's a, and you know this, Richard. There's a culture at
Yeah.
tactical response where the alumni are really the inner circle, the family,
Yeah.
and that's why I was kind of kidding around saying this is kind of a rogue tribute to James because
Here's that
I
picture.
I, I kind of knew him outside of I knew him more as a YouTuber than
Yeah.
a tactical response,
Yep.
and I don't know. I always liked James, and was really saddened to see him
Yep.
uh, leave this world because he was
Yeah. Well, it
person
was sad.
person that was for the most part misunderstood.
Yeah.
You know, when did you meet him?
Other people. Well, I first met him in 2014. I'd been talking to him for some time before that on his YouTube channel because I left comments and he started replying to me, so we had a bit of a conversation going. Then when I finally met him in 2014, oh, hang on, get shit.
Well,
Hang
let
on,
me
I've got
play. I wanted to play this little video. This video is real short because I didn't know what to expect when I first met him, and this is when I first met him at um, the gun rally. So let me play this. I wonder if I let me make sure that I'm sharing
yeah,
the audio because sometimes I make the mistake of
yeah. I've just muted the YouTube side of it.
let me make sure I'm going to
Right.
screen share, Chrome tab. Yeah, I did say share tab audio. Okay, because last time I did this, I didn't share the proper thing here. So let me go. I'm going to play this right quick.
Man. We ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I have invited Arnest Tony to come out and take a class, so this is my challenge. I'm laying down the gauntlet for him to get out there and get in the fight with us.
Lose the belly and get out there.
What's that?
Lose the gut and get out there.
No, come out there now.
Go out there now and then lose the gut.
Whatever.
Okay. Thanks, James.
So that that was real quick. A quick video, and I don't know. That brings back a lot of memories just watching that. James had challenged me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could you hear the audio from that?
Yeah. I heard it. Yeah.
What James had done, he had challenged me to come. He had offered for me to come to tactical response and have a free course, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I had all these excuses. I wanted to lose weight, and he knew that, And actually, there were some things that it's really difficult for me to explain. That it's kind of a long story, and this is going to sound like excuses. And James was the first person to tell me, you know, stop making excuses. And I
Yeah.
always had these little excuses. One of my first excuses was at the time I was training with um, a fella. I don't know if I can mention his name or not, but he was a contractor from. He had done some contracting in Afghanistan. Well, it's Nathan Good. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna. Anyway, It's a long story, but I had some videos with Nathan Good, and he does some hostage recovery and some other wild things with his business, and so I had to take down some videos with him. But
Yeah.
I had committed to a whole series of training with him and he was an NRA instructor. And at
Yeah.
the time I met James, I was only about halfway through that training,
Yeah.
and so I had pistol and rifle, and it was NRA stuff. It was personal protection inside the home, all this, range, range safety officer, all this kind of stuff. So I had committed to that. So I thought, okay, after I finish that, I'm going to go to tactical response. So this is when I met James. You know, I don't know. I knew. What's funny is that the NRA training was safe, right?
Yeah.
It was easy. It wasn't. And this is no criticism of Nathan Good. Nathan Good is a badass. Okay,
Yeah.
but he, it was the NRA training is easier, obviously, than tactical response. And the reason I was
Yeah.
taking that training was because I was I needed to get certified to be able to sign off on the voice. I was a assistant scoutmaster at the time because Alex was in
Yeah.
Scouts, and I had to sign off.
Yeah, I
on,
understand. Yeah. I
Let me tell a
understand because a
story.
lot of
Okay, I'm trying to tell a story, Richard. Hold on, okay?
Yeah.
I had to sign off on the Boy Scouts rifle shooting merit badges, and if I'm going to make excuses, I'm going to tell the whole story, okay?
Mhm.
So, and that's what I was doing. I was in the middle of that. So my plan was to lose weight, finish the NRA training, and then go to tactical response. And that's when I met Richard, and he said, "You know what? Just forget about that. Just come to tactical response. It doesn't matter. You get off your ass and come." And I was like, "Okay." But then during my rifle um, class with Nathan, I freaking have to go prone, and my belly is so fat
Yeah.
that it makes me point downhill.
Yeah.
Imagine your belly is a fulcrum, and
Yeah.
it makes you, and you're like, ugh. So it actually literally affected my shooting.
Yeah.
And I visualized myself at tactical response, and it almost was like I would be disrespecting. This is something James never understood from me, was that it was almost like I would be disrespecting the class.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to lose weight and then go.
Yeah.
But I never. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that James always had like disabled people there in wheelchairs and stuff, so he would have never let it be a problem. He wouldn't have had a go at you because you're bigger.
I
Or
know, but I didn't want to be that guy. I
one
wanted to
leg,
lose the
whatever.
weight.
Yeah.
And since then, I've lost 70 pounds.
Yeah.
If you look at
Well,
the picture in the thumbnail, you can see my
Yeah.
face is a lot fatter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, I'll find that picture when I first met you. Yeah, I've just sent you some pictures via Twitter, but I'll find that picture because I looked at it just a second ago. When I first met you in 2015, when we were at the NRA show in Nashville, that's when I first met you face to face, and you had both your sons with you.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
I mean, I
so
could see like the other week.
What I'm getting at is that
Yeah.
one of the biggest regrets I have literally in my life is not getting to tactical response before James passed away. And it's really
Yeah. Well, my plan
really,
was
it's going to be
because
with
I thought
me.
I was going to be able to move in. Yeah. My plan was to go there for at least 2 classes, fighting pistol and fighting rifle, once I'd moved into America, because I always thought that it wouldn't take this long because I don't have a criminal record or anything. I didn't think it like next month, we're nearly in October, that will be 13 years of trying to move over. And it's just, I find it's just ridiculous,
Yeah.
But I mean, before the lockdown and the flight ban, I had a plan then to come in, and I wanted to speak to James and find a convenient time where I could fly over, because the problem is with me, it costs a lot of money to come in with the flights and everything. And I mean, some people moan about that. I've been to Eric's twice, but the thing is, like, Eric, the first time I was there, Eric let me stay at his house for a few days. The second time I went there, I stayed at Eric's all the time because he's got a spare room. So and then I try and buy Eric like dinner and breakfast and stuff to make up for that. So it does save a bit of money when someone puts you up, but I don't just take advantage. I try and do, and that's why when I visit people, I always try and bring something as a gift. So, but yeah, I've just sent you those pictures on Twitter. So if you can get them from there, and you'll see that one from the NRA show. I mean, that's from 2015. But yeah, but I'm sure at that show you had both your sons with you, because I bumped into you when you were at that laser shotgun thing that you could have a go on. That's where I found you.
I was trying to get to Twitter here.
Yeah,
I had a lot of stuff going on.
I'm gonna shut mine back down because it's like, yeah.
Okay.
But no, the thing with James, I always found him nice and polite and everything. Then once he had met me face to face, we carried on talking, like in comments. And then when I had my videos up, he left comments on my videos, which was nice. Because
that's the thing about James is people. I mean, he could be gruff, like when he's talking about training or he is training. Yeah. He could be gruff, but when you just met him outside of tactical response, like we did at the NRA shows or like shooting events, like like Iraq Vet 88. I've got some video. I want to show that. He was just the nicest guy.
Yeah, he was approachable. It's
very
like
approachable.
I a couple of times I saw him. He would actually be eating his dinner with his wife or whatever in the NRA show. So I just walked past. I didn't bother him because I just don't. He's busy. Then I just give him. Yeah, that picture is from.
Oh wait, here we go.
Yeah, that one is from 2014. That's the first time I ever met him face to face. And I went to shake his hand, and he put his arm around me and give me the thumbs up with the other one. So that sort of pose, a funny sort of pose. But I met, he was, I'm trying to think, the first ever YouTuber I met was Jeff, that sadly passed away a year or two ago. James would be like the second.
Jeff who?
Jeff from Gun Blast channel. The guy with the beard. The guy with a beard. He lived in Tennessee. Also, he was the first ever YouTuber I met. And I always chatted with him. After that, I always chatted with him. And then he put me in one of his videos one time. But yeah, then James was the second YouTuber I met. Because we were just like, that room was crowded. We were just passing. And I went, oh, James. That picture, I'm sure, is from Atlanta. And that's at one of James's parties. When you go to the NRA show, he used to have a party normally in a basement of a hotel or in a room, and he would it would be open, so anyone could turn up, not just anyone that's trained at, but it was open to anyone. So the first time I just walked in, and you had Marion there that used to work with him, and you had any of his staff that were there and other people, and it's just all really nice people to get along with. The first one I went to was in Nashville. This picture I'm sure is in Atlanta that time when I met you for the second time as well. Yeah. I got a picture there.
What happened to those pictures?
I don't know. Go down. Scroll down. You're higher up. That's it. There you go. Yeah. So the next picture, that's Don Numbers on the left. Gary, the little short guy in the middle. That's Gary Marr, and then Larry Viggers. Those are three instructors that used to work at Tactical Response, and they were really nice people as well. All different people, but they're all nice in their own way, and great to be with.
There we are.
Yeah, that's you and me, and that's Barrett. That's Barrett, isn't it? Well, that's at the NRA show in 2015 in Nashville.
don't know why it keeps going to the top. That's
Yeah.
weird. But let me show this. Let me get this set up here at the right spot.
Because I met a lot of people for the first time at that NRA show in Nashville. Because Such, Hoss. I'm trying to think.
Why is this not showing?
Yeah.
Oh, why is it doing this? You trying to show something?
Crappy
I wanted
adverts.
to do this. I wanted to. Here we go. So this is this is 2013.
Yeah.
And this is James had agreed to sign the crickets that we were having signed to raise money for like Wounded Warrior Project and
Yep.
MarineParents.com. And
The sound's a bit quiet on there.
what's that?
The sound is a bit quiet on that video. I can't hear it much.
Let me get past this. That was Krista Blade.
Yeah,
this is not about her.
Yeah, no, I don't think I ever met her.
At the end, you know, this is true. If you can't hear this, let me know.
Yeah. No, I can't hear that. That's 2013, is it? Yeah.
So James was, I guess the point here is that James was very benevolent, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, he would do anything to help other people.
Yeah, well, he cared a lot about other people, because I can speak to that. The fact, because when I was in America, he was the first person ever that offered me, if I had a problem, contact him and he would help me get back to the UK or put me up or whatever. If I end up in hospital or something like that, you know, if something went wrong, and if my travel insurance or whatever let me down, then contact him and he would make sure he would either get to me or send someone to get to me to make sure I would get home or something like that, or I'd get put up for a couple of days if, you know, there was an airport problem or some other bullshit with what's going on.
So at that point, you know, James knew I was still trying to lose weight, but he invited me to his Christmas party, which was supposed to be alumni, you know, only, and then to sign. So he invited me to his house to sign the crickets, and you know, I was really impressed with just. I knew I wasn't part of the inner circle, but he was still doing this. You know what I mean? And this is the kind of person he was. He had these relationships outside of tactical response, which is going to kind of maybe weird some people out. But
yeah, well, he knew a lot of people. This is what I liked about James, because that he did like journeys across America, and he would visit different companies. He would visit different companies, and you'd get to learn a lot more, whether it was a firearm product or some other product, and even the motorbike stuff he made interesting. I don't ride myself, but he when he did those tours across America, they were really good videos to watch, and I met a lot of new people through him, like John Lovell and others I met through James. I'm trying to think other, but yeah, there's quite a few different companies that I've met through James, and then other people as well.
Were you saying the audio was really low in those videos?
Yeah, on that last video you played, when he's doing the signing, I couldn't hear nothing on that one.
So let me show this one. This was at 2015. Can you see this one? Okay.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So these guys here were just, I don't know. I'm not some celebrity, but they recognized me and wanted to talk, right?
Yeah.
And James hears me talking over to the side. And so I turn around and he said something like, "Hey," and I turn around and James was really funny about video. He was funny about what would it be like? It's not that he didn't want to be videoed, but if he thought you were, he would want to be in it. Like he would want to be a part of it. That's how nice he was. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
So I'm interviewing these two guys, and this is kind of what happened. This was at the NRA, 2015.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no sound again.
See, he
Yeah.
he said, "Quit filming me,"
Yeah.
and it was kind of funny because I wasn't there. I was there interviewing these guys,
Yeah.
and I was like, all I said was, "I'm waiting in line to see James Yeager," and it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
He said I have to pay for that. So this is the kind of guy James was. Okay,
Yeah.
he left the group that people stood in line for,
Yeah.
right? And he came over to visit these guys.
Yeah.
Which I was so struck that I almost was like, "What do I do now?" So watch this, So I don't know why. For some reason, I stopped videoing. It was really strange, but it was a cool moment because James just, I don't know. That's just how nice he was.
Yeah.
It was always like that. He would always surprise you.
Yeah.
And he was just an awesome guy. And people think he was hard and gruff and
Yeah, well, but a lot of people also think he used to drink a lot, and he never did. Because I offered to buy him a beer, and he doesn't drink. He doesn't drink any alcohol. He never drank any alcohol, and that was for a long. I can't remember when he stopped, because he obviously when he was a teenager or something like that, or in his 20s he drank, but he hasn't drank for a long time. But yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard to put into words. I don't know. For me, it's what were these other pictures I had? That was it. But I don't know. It's kind of funny because there's a certain way I'll always remember James.
Yeah.
And it's really the thumbnail. It's really that picture I have behind us. I can't really. Where do I put us? I can't put us.
Yeah.
I can't get us out of the way, man.
No.
But that thumbnail I have behind when James was I don't know, when I first met him. That's how I'll always remember him. He was an awesome guy. I remember when he got into trouble for that video.
Yeah. Well, people took that the wrong way as well. So
they did. Yeah, and I made several videos saying basically James was that guy. It reminded me of the movie. What was it? He was that guy on the wall that nobody wanted to be. And that there weren't many people willing to get on that wall. And I remember all the crap that he took from his Iraq tour.
Yeah, well, none of that makes any sense. And all the comments, if you look in the videos where that ambush is shown, and why did he take cover? Well, that's what you're trained to do. You're trained to take cover and return fire. You don't just stand in the middle of the road and just get knocked down as well. And all those. None of those people made any sense because no army in the world trains you to stand out in the open and return fire.
Yeah.
If you take fire in an ambush, you're trained to work out where it's coming from, take cover, and return fire. You never stand in the middle of nowhere and just make yourself an open target for everything in the world to shoot at you.
Well, it's like the Ukraine thing.
Yeah.
people even criticized him for that. Here he is, knowing he's near the end of his life, and he's risking his life, to go to another country and train Ukrainians to fight Russians.
Yeah,
and
I found that amazing because
the critics never they're so idiotic.
But I found that amazing. Yeah, but I found that amazing that he actually went, being so close to. Because I thought when he went, well, maybe he's got a year or two left, at least a year or two, and then it's once he's back, it was a short time, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's gone, and it's quite amazing that he actually went to over there to still help people, knowing that he was going to be gone in like basically a few months. But yeah.
The irony is that I had a class schedule, and I had finally scheduled a class. What is this? And then he decides to go to Ukraine. So I mean, obviously, that's more important.
Yeah.
Then I was trying to get him up as share screen. Oh, window.
Because I've got a friend in Texas. He went over to Ukraine to deliver some medical supplies. Now the other year he had cancer, and he thought he was going to be in a lot of trouble with that. But they found the tumor, took it out, and he's recovered now. But I know someone else in Florida. They've got cancer at the moment, and they're undergoing chemo and everything else. Now I'm hoping to be able to visit him one day before it's too late. Same as the guy I learned most of my solar knowledge from. He passed away the same week as James. He lived in Missouri. A guy called Jeff, and I'd been watching his videos for like 10 years or more, ever since I been on YouTube, wanting to learn more about solar and wind and little wind turbines and stuff. And he had a company that sold all that and made it, and he had just retired within a couple of years, and he sold the company, and they carried on with the same YouTube channel and everything. And then they announced it was just before James's death that Jeff had passed away as well. So I lost two people. So two people I know on YouTube I lost in the same week, and they're both people that I learned a lot from, different areas of knowledge.
Well, and I want to stay focused on James. There's a lot of people that have passed, but I mean, the one thing I wanted to remember about James too was his the way he would do Christmas toys for tots.
Yeah,
and you and I both have supported that.
Yeah. I've supported it for about 2-3 years.
Yeah, he would always have this sort of internal thing where he would raise money or have people, like one year instead of sending money, I sent toys, right? He would give you a way to send the toys or raise money to do it. And then and this was just like a standard thing with James, and he would also just give, what was the school supply thing too? Like one year, it was probably more than, I mean, obviously he does this every year, but I remember one year sending like a box of pencils. He would raise school supplies too for kids in elementary school or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was just like, it never ended with James. He was always giving back.
Yeah.
He was always giving to the community. He would give, he always, the biggest guilt I feel is that he offered me a free course, and I never took him up on it because I had this dream of losing weight before I went. And it's just dumb. I should have just gone.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I remember the funny thing about James is, it was kind of funny. After this meeting in 2013 with him, I emailed him and said, "Hey, what would it cost to have you come to Chattanooga? The Chattanooga Rifle Club where I took you."
Yeah.
And and do some training. And he was like, "Oh, it'd be like $10,000." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny because I didn't realize the scope of James Yeager until then. You know what I mean? I didn't. I just thought he's a simple guy. He trains people, and then after that, I got more into it, and I said, "Oh yeah, this James is a bigger deal than what I'm thinking." I thought I could just have James come to the rifle club and hang out and train people. I thought I could do it for like $1,000 or something. It was kind of funny. But I would have, if I had $10,000, I would have done it. I would have had him.
Well, that was but that 10,000 would have just been. That wouldn't have just been for you. That would have been for more people. That's not.
It doesn't even matter. I mean, it would have been, looking back on it, it would have been worth it. Like, it was a little bit of a shock to me, like the thought of it. But now, thinking about it, looking back on it, it was dumb. I should have just raised the money and done it.
But yeah, that 10,000 wouldn't have just been for you. It would have been for other people as well. Because I've known other people that do. They've done one-on-one with James, and it doesn't cost. It never costed that much.
No, the point was that he would have brought his training unit, his whole training thing, to take it to a remote spot is expensive. It's not it's not just him coming. It's the whole production. It's the whole thing coming. So it's just me underestimating what it would have taken to get him and his crew and equipment and all that, to Chattanooga. And he was like, "Well, that's just dumb. You need to get your ass to Camden." And I said, "Okay, I'm going to lose." I kept saying I'm going to lose 50 or 70 pounds or whatever, and then I'm going to come. And he would say, "Just stop making excuses."
Yeah.
And I would be like, "Man, you're hurting my feelings." And it was funny because all I was worried about was, I feel so bad now that all I was worried about was the impression that I would leave by not being able to do some of the things that they were doing. It's just silly.
But there's been people there bigger than you before, and like I say, that he's had people there in wheelchairs or whatever disability.
I know. I just wanted to do a good job, and he never understood that. I wanted to be more capable.
Yeah, but if you look back on it, I mean, those Girl Guides that went to his place from Florida, every gun place in Florida turned those women away just because they were Girl Guides. James said, "No, you come to tactical response, we'll look after you," and they put them through fighting rifle.
He never got where I was coming from. I respected tactical response so much that I would not come and fail and be that guy. I wanted, because a lot of the people that I saw during that period, it was like Hoss and all these military types or contractor types were taking classes, and there was no way I was going to be in the same class with those people. There was just no way. And that is the respect that I held for James Yeager, and he never understood that.
Yeah, but the thing is,
he did. Maybe he just never acknowledged it.
But the thing is, Hoss isn't a small guy. He's quite big as well.
No, but he was a Marine, so
that's what I mean. But that's the thing with James. He never slagged you off because you never served or whatever.
No, I know.
It's like when I told him what I did, he never slagged me off because I was in the army in the UK, and when I told him why I left the army, he never slagged me off because of that either. Because I left because I was disabled. He never slagged me off for that either or whatever. He understood the problems that.
Well, he was willing to train anybody. He was willing to train anybody. That's kind of the point. Yeah. But I wanted to be prepared when I went, and it was dumb. I should have just gone. I missed the opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah.
And man.
Yeah. But this is what annoys me about people as well, because he always got accused of being a racist. Yeah, but they can never provide any proof of that, All these idiots.
I don't even want to talk about that kind of stuff. That's
part of his,
not
but
true.
part of his family is coloured anyway, so it does, none of it made it.
even want to go there, Richard. I don't even
No.
want to. There's not. I don't want to have any negativity
No.
at all in this video. That's just that kind of stuff is just dumb. It's ignorance.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It has no place.
Yeah.
I don't. It doesn't even. I don't even want to speak of it because it's dumb. James loved. He loved all humans.
Yeah.
He didn't have really. People thought he hated. He had hate. He didn't have any hate.
No, he had love and care for people. That's what he had.
Yeah. And I feel like just talking about that kind of stuff, just
and are willing to help. Yeah, and are willing to help people as well. And it wasn't just with training; it was with other things as well. Like I said, like he told me, if I get any problems in the US, make sure he gets contacted, and he would make sure that I got back home or got looked after whichever way and was required. It wasn't
so at
always
point,
about the guns.
At this point, I'm gonna obviously I talked to Kayla, and I'm gonna schedule some training in the spring, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do it whether I've lost the weight or not. And,
I've never met Kayla. I've only met Heather before.
I haven't. She wasn't there at James's house when I went to his house, but I've talked to her through email, and she's really nice. And I want to take some of her medical courses too. Which are supposed to be awesome. But my thing is that I'm the message I'm trying to get out to people is don't make the same mistake I made. If you've got a goal, you just do it. Don't make excuses like I did.
No, well, like here in the UK, I get told I'm too fat, right, by people that are a lot bigger than me, and like all my family will call me fat, and they're all bigger than me,
Yeah, I don't see you as being fat. That's for sure.
It's just stupid,
The thing is, when I took my rifle course with the NRA rifle, I took the instructor course and the student course. And it was really embarrassing because, literally my belly was so big that I was, and it was obvious in my shooting. I had an AK at that time. I had an Arsenal SAN, 107 or whatever. And my instructor says, well, bring an AR. I want you to bring an AR. So I borrowed an AR because I didn't have one at the time, which is kind of dumb. I had built several ARs and people wanted them. I don't know if you remember, I had the wood furniture on them. I had two. And people wanted them. They talked me out of them. So I gave away when I sold them. Anyway, I borrowed this AR and I wasn't used to it. So here I am on my belly looking down at the dirt because my belly's so big. I don't know if you can imagine laying on a stack of pillows. Make you tilt over. And so I'm trying to look. So I basically had to get in sort of an urban prone position to avoid my belly. And I'm thinking, do I really want to go tactical response and look this idiotic? Because, Nathan, my NRA instructor, was just mild and meek, and he wasn't going to say anything. But I had this fear of James, get your fat ass down there. I don't know. It was and I know it wouldn't have been that way, but that's anyway. See, those are all the excuses that I had in my head, and now I'm regretting it. And I just don't want other people to do the same thing.
My excuse is like we've had a 3-year flight ban and everything, and a lot of things that I planned on doing. Like I when we were going to be in Nashville in 220, and all that got cancelled, and then the hotel was still trying to rate me for the full price. Well, you helped me sort that out, and that's why I made it a priority as soon as Biden lifted that flight ban. And but when he first lifted it, I could get tested and come in. But the problem was, because I have to leave my house at 4 a.m. in the morning to get to London, to get to the airport, you've got to get the test within so many hours before you travel. and it's being able to get the result back in time to show that you're negative. Then they said, oh, as long as you've had the vaccine, you can come into the States, no problem at all. And you got to be able to prove it. Well, I got the paperwork to be able to prove that I had the vaccine. The reason I had the vaccine in the first place is because the government here said that air travel will go back to normal for people that had it, which it never did. But anyway, so I got the proof, and then as soon as I booked all the flights in basically 24 hours, and the first, like I said, I arranged with you when to come over, and I made you a priority to come over because you're helping me with this house, and also you helped me with that hotel in Nashville. And saved me a lot of bother with that, because that would have lost me a whole load of money, and I could never I could never get to the hotel to stay at because the flight ban that Trump put in place came in, and I wasn't even able to get to Nashville. Because first of all, when they cancelled the NRA show, I still thought, well, I'll still go to Nashville, but as a tourist, and I'll just have a look around Nashville again. And then after the NRA show was cancelled, that's when the flight ban came in. So then, I mean, the airline was perfect. American Airlines, I've got not a bad word to say about them because they refunded all the money within a week. I phoned them on a Monday and spoke to them, and they understood. And I told them, well, as soon as the ban's lifted, I'll be booking with you. Because first of all, everyone thought the flight ban was only going to be, say, 6 to 8 months. And obviously it was a lot longer, but it's the same with you. I made you as a priority to visit first, and I booked all my flights with American Airlines.
I'm trying to find a video. One of the coolest videos was of why am I not going to my channel? Channel. Why is this on? Okay, where? Oh.
You click on videos and it.
Well, the video that shows on your home screen, why is it showing? I'm looking for the 12-year. Oh, what do you know? It here, YouTube content, 12-year. I was just going to show some. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
If I can ever get to. I'm going to get to. I think it's back here.
Yeah.
Back here.
The sound's off on that video.
No, I just want trying to find it first before.
Oh, right,
okay. Somewhere right in here. That's not it. James will come up here in a second.
Yeah.
But James was awesome. You would see him in a shoot, and he was always willing to share his time. Where did James come in? I don't understand. Oh, here we go.
There he is.
Here it is. Here we are.
Raining by the looks of it.
So we're at this shoot, and I'm interviewing Tim, Military Arms Channel, and
but the sound's off if you're going to play it.
And 22 Plinkster, and I don't think the sound worked. I was just trying to give some background before I play it. And we're under this tent, and it's pouring down rain, and it's kind of funny because James was always such a prankster, like a trickster, right? Yeah. So I'm interviewing them, and he comes over, and let's see if I can get it. Anyway, it was kind of a cool little moment where, I'm interviewing them, and he comes over and just says hi. It was kind of cool because I don't know how to describe it. He would always surprise you like that.
Yeah.
And it was just always fun. He always made moments like that fun. Yeah. and I think people underestimated him as a shooter. You know, I would watch him at these shoots, the way he handled guns. It was just, he was always kind of the guy who really, no matter what gun he picked up, because at Eric's shoots, there were all these, heavy machine guns, and there was all every gun you could think of, and he could just pick up a weapon and just go through the manual of arms through it just like nothing.
Yeah,
and it was pretty cool to see him handle guns. I don't guess none of these other people are going to show up, but it's okay.
No, I've checked the comments.
I didn't really give any warning for this thing, but I don't know. I just wanted to do. I don't know. It feels kind of weird because I'm not an alumni, but at the same time, and I know that James was one of those people. How do you say this? He didn't want people. He was really sensitive about people benefiting from his image or from his likeness or from his content that weren't alumni.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So I even hesitated doing this video, and that's why I'm calling it a rogue video, because I guess I really, at some point, I don't really care. I felt like James was a friend, and I just wanted to say, that I'm sad to see him go and pass, and the world's going to miss him, and all of the haters can just really go to hell, as far as I can say.
Yeah.
I don't usually use bad language in my videos, but in this case, I'm going to do it. So
yeah, I just end up blocking people. I can't be bothered. Yeah, if it's on Twitter or whatever, I just end up blocking them.
So anyway, I know most of my normal viewers aren't going to even understand this video because they don't know who James is, probably, and it's not for them. This was really just for me. I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to say, I miss James, and I regret not getting there, and I don't know. It's tough,
Yeah.
It's tough now looking back on things and not doing the things I should have done.
Yeah.
And I just don't want other people to make the same mistake. I challenge anybody who wants to get training, just go to tactical response. Do it. Just do it. The instructors. What's fun? Here's the funny thing. Okay, I kept trying to arrange a time. I would call. What's her name? What's the lady who?
Marion was.
Marion. She would answer the phone, and I would say, "Okay, I want to come to this class. Is James going to be there?" And she said, "Well, we can't say whether James is going to be there or not." And I was like, "Man, I really want to train with James." And she would say, "We can't guarantee it." And you're just going to have to schedule a class. And I would be like, "Man, what? I just want to. Am I going to travel all this way? I want to see James." And that was another excuse I had. So I don't know.
Yeah, but if you had asked for a one-on-one with James, they would have done it. Because I know other people that have been there. They've asked, "Can I have a one-on-one with James?" So you don't have like 20 or 30 people there if you're worried about other people. You just have yourself there.
Yeah, it costs $1,000 to do that.
Yeah,
which I was willing to pay.
Yeah,
but then Ukraine came.
Yeah,
and so everybody pitched in for that, and then the fundraiser, everybody pitched in for that. So it there at the end, it near the end, it was more important to help fund Ukraine and the fundraiser than to take classes. To me, it was.
Yep.
So. But in the spring, I'm going to be there. No more excuses. I'm just, again, freaking regret that I didn't do it before James.
The only thing I didn't want to be there if it was raining. I don't, they say train in all weathers, but I come from a wet country where I get rained on most of the time anyway. So I would rather have been there when it was like, I don't mind I've got no problem with cold weather. I just didn't want it raining.
Well, it doesn't. It's not like the UK and Tennessee.
Yeah.
If we have showers, sometimes they'll just come and
Yeah.
go. It'll shower and then the sun will come back out and it's no big deal.
Yeah, because it's like when I came over to yours, I looked at the weather before I came over, and they said it was virtually rain every day. And then what did we have? We only had Sunday, and then a couple of times it rained in the middle of the night because I'd get up in the morning at the hotel and the car park's wet. Apart from Sunday, it never rained. It never rained during the day when we were there.
That's why in Tennessee, I'm a contractor, right? We just show up, right? Because you never know. You can't really count on a forecast in Tennessee.
No.
Not around Chattanooga because of the mountains and the climate and all this stuff. You just have to go, and if it's raining, it's raining. If it's not, but a lot of the times, if you just wait 30 minutes, it's not raining. Sun comes out, it dries up. It's like it was never there. It's kind of funny. Or like it'll be raining at my house and not at the job, or whatever, or at the range or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
but it's like, the main reason I didn't end up going sooner to tactical response is because it's the cost of coming over from the UK. Like I say, every time I come over, it's costing me like up to $5,000 normally with the flights, hotel, and everything, and then the time off work.
Well, I think that's more of an excuse than I had.
Yeah.
And I don't.
I know James. He's had people from Japan and that turn up, but their circumstances. I mean, that's probably like a once in a lifetime trip as well for them. But that's why I wanted to try and get fighting pistol and fighting rifle done at exactly like the same week I'd be there, not just come over for one course and then go back. I wanted to do the 2 courses I wanted to do at tactical response in the same week. Whether I had a couple of days in between or whatever, it wouldn't have mattered. I would have just stayed there and hopefully got both of them done. The medical stuff, I went to Skinny Medic for that, and I recommend him to anyone for first aid trauma type training if you want to do his course. But that was my plan. That was my priority, was first aid, like trauma first, then tactical response. And unfortunately, I didn't get to do it with James. But like I say, if I'd moved over, I didn't think that I would be messed around for nearly 13 years trying to move over. Especially when you've got money to spend and you've got no criminal record. It shouldn't be used as an excuse to block you from moving to the United States when you're moving to do better than just sat on your ass over here doing nothing.
Well, we've been going for about an hour and we haven't got anybody jumping in here, so I just wanted to do a quick tribute to James.
Yeah, there's been a couple of people in the comments. I flicked back. There was a couple of people there. It says you got free watching.
Yeah, there's been a couple of people. I don't know.
Yeah.
The comments haven't been that really. There hasn't been anything that's about James really, so I didn't really acknowledge him. This was about James. That's it. So anyway, I just want to challenge people. If you're carrying a concealed weapon, really ought to get some training. And I would highly recommend tactical response. And I'm going in the spring, and that'll be that. And I'm hoping James will be up there in the clouds, watching. And so, you have any final thoughts to say, James, about Richard, about James?
Well, I just thank you for everything when I knew him, just the time I got to spend with him was good. There was nothing ever bad there was never a bad experience with either James, his wife or any of his instructors and everything. And I only met Heather, is one of his daughters. I only met Heather one time. She was nice to meet. And then the other people I've met also through James's videos. I met a lot of people. Not all of them I've met face to face, but I've known about. You get to know about so many more companies and products, as well as wonderful people. I mean, one of them, like John Lovell. I mean, I met him, like I say, through because James went to a night vision class where John Lovell was an instructor. So he learned from John Lovell. Then later on, it was James that pushed John Lovell to set up his own YouTube, and now look at where John Lovell is today. You know, with the WPS and everything else. But yeah, like American Gun Chick's another one. When she first went to tactical response, and I thought, oh my god, you know. But then look what she's turned into today. You know.
Yeah, James has. He's had a lot of an effect on a lot of different people.
Yeah.
And I don't think I think it'll be years before the full effect, of the effect is known that he had, and I don't know. I just think he'll be greatly missed.
Yeah.
And so with that, we will close it out. And God bless, Rebecca, Kayla, Heather, all the grandkids, Bane. What's the other grandkid's name?
Yeah, I can't remember. I've never met any of those grandkids.
Yeah, I actually made a little sheath neck knife.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
I think it's Caleb. I think it's Caleb that's been in most of the videos that I've seen when he was with James.
Yeah. Heather's been in. She was in there with like a weightlifting series. I remember that. The strength training. But God bless all of them. And I'm gonna let James's picture be up just for a minute, and we'll end it here. So thanks, Richard, for joining.
That's right. Thank you very much. Thank you.